Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And this one is an absolute cracker. This is one of those stories that I thought was lies, not true, can't be true, but it is. And it's about Stephen Flynn, the now redundant SNP MP, because Westminster got binned yesterday. The government was dissolved. Parliament, was dissolved. So Stephen's not got a job. I think it's affecting Stephen's mental health, if I'm perfectly honest with you. The poor chap's not sure that in 6 weeks' time, once the voting's finished and we've decided who our Member of Parliaments are for Westminster, I'm not sure he's going to have a job. And I think Stephen's got those problems as well, because the thing that he said is obviously not, it's not right. Okay, I mean, I genuinely am worried and concerned for the man's health. So this story, which I've picked up from GB News website, Stephen Flynn boasts SNP will gain seats at general election despite devastating polls. That's right, he thinks they're going to get more seats than they had when Parliament closed last night. So, the SNP Westminster leader said he is very confident despite polling showing that he could lose his own seat at the election. Stephen Flynn has claimed that the SNP will win seats at the general election despite devastating polling suggesting that the party will suffer huge losses. The SNP Westminster leader said the party is looking to retain every single seat and win others from rival parties. He said he is very confident despite polling showing that he could lose his own seat at the election. Recent surveys have suggested the SNP could lose many of the 48 seats won in 2019, falling to just 7. Now that, to be honest with you, that poll, I'm not so sure. If that's accurate, I'll be the happiest guy in the world come the 5th of July when all the results come out. But I think I was predicting 20 to 25 as a result, as a good result for unionists like myself and probably for nationalists who are just fed up with them. The 20 to 25 would be a great result. Anything south of that is a tremendous result. And some of the polls are showing 11, some about 18, some still low 20s, but a recent one did have them at 7, right? See if they get 7 seats at the Westminster election, they'll be as well just wrapping it, right? Just declare administration and fold the business, right? Because you would lose, what are they at, 7 out of 48, so that's, their short money would go from 1.2 million to about 300 grand, right? They would lose approximately £900,000 for the next 45 years if that result was to run, right? Anyway, back to the story, because it's absolutely nutty. First Minister John Swinney has admitted that his party could face a difficult time in July 4th election, but Flynn was much more optimistic, claiming the SNP positive message of putting Scotland first will help get over the line and deliver for the people of Scotland again. He told Sky, "I'm looking to retain every single seat that we have and also looking to win other seats from other parties because that is what you do in an election." Well, no, it's not, right? You don't, everybody just go, all right, we're going to win more. You know, it's like that. You do that, right? And you just hope and pray and shut your eyes and just go, we're going to win more. What do you do? What goes on in your head to actually believe this nonsense? I suppose we're just toeing the normal party line with SNP. It's just feed them anything, right? And they hope that they're that much of a cult that they'll buy into it, right? Nonsense. Where do we get to? I'm very confident with the policy platform we're going to put forward. Well, we're going to put it for a week in. We still don't know what they're doing, right? And I've said it umpteen times. Nicola Sturgeon, she came out, de facto referendum, 50% of the votes plus a vote, that's that referendum we'll call independence. Humza had a wee rethink and thought, getting 50% of votes a bit tough. I'll just change it slightly. I'll make it 50% of the seats. Then I'll go to Westminster and say we demand a referendum because we've got the majority of the seats. At which point Westminster would say, yeah, if you're not Humza, you've done it with 30% of the vote. Away back up the road and take that book of devolution with you and just deal with the rules, okay? But Swinney has managed to get away with a whole week's worth of campaigning and nobody's asked him. Nobody, I suppose, it'd be quite difficult. I was thinking somebody will ask him at First Minister's questions, but I've seen them getting into trouble for talking about the election in Holyrood, so it's probably not the place. But as soon as he walks out that door, faces the cameras, he's been doing rounds of all the media stuff for a week now, and nobody said, Mr. Swinney, are you having a de facto referendum? Because all these nationalists are waiting to understand what the rules are. That's how important independence is to this crank. He's not opened his mouth. He has not said. You would think, I'm an SNP leader, the First Minister of Scotland, right? My sole reason for being here is to try and get independence. So see, if it was me, seeing day one of the election campaigning, you would probably want to go to people and say, this is why you want to vote for us, because this is what I'm going to do after we do X, and try and excite the people that are nationalists to maybe vote for you, right? But I think the nationalists are even sick of this nonsense as well, and they realise you have ruined the country for unionists, and you have ruined the independence dreams of the nationalists, right? So they're sick of you as well. I want folk to tactically vote that are unionists. They'll want to be tactically voting to make sure you Muppets don't get another, 4 or 5 years of being most seats in Westminster and running Holyrood. So there we go. Anyway, I keep going off the plot because it's such a mad story. So he's going on about this policy platform we're going to put forward. Yeah, that means you've not got one, because we're a week in now, right? With the clear fact that we are the ones who always put Scotland first at Westminster, unlike all the other political parties. There you go. There's no another single party out there thinks about Scotland. He also said the SNP would seek further negotiations on a second independence referendum if they win. Oh, he's saying the majority of seats. Well, there we go. So he's now the First Minister. He's now the leader of the SNP. He said the winner in the election gets to take forward a manifesto, and ultimately it will be for us to seek to do that. The winner of the election will not be the SNP, you banger. Even if the SNP get every seat that they contest, they would still not win the election, because I've got a wee bit of news for you, Mr. Flynn. It's a UK election. I will guarantee, I'll give you the best bet in the world. What odds do you want? I'll give you the bet that you will not win the election. So how can you even tell us what you're going to do if you win this election? Your manifesto doesn't go to government. The Labour parties will probably do that, but a very, very outside slim chance that it would be Tories. Definitely not be SNP, right? Put the kettle on for it. But he's saying if we win this election. The big question here, and it is a question Keir Starmer is going to have to face up to, is at what point does he recognise the democratic views of the Scottish people? Probably in 2014 he recognised the democratic views of the Scottish people when we voted no, right? What other thing you want? I think he's got close to 50% once with the all the votes cast in Scotland for a Westminster election, right? And not been near it since. We know the Conservative Party don't, whether it's Theresa May, Liz Truss, Boris Johnson or Rishi Sunak. If Keir Starmer seriously going to go into the election and say he is going to stick to the same policy platform as the Conservative Party when it comes to the people of Scotland, 50% of whom back Scottish independence, where do you get that from? That's just like, there's a figure, out the air, bang, here you are. Thingmy done it as well, that Mary Black, she was at this carry-on as well. You're now telling the public that 50% of Scots want independence. Based on what? Did you do a poll on your Twitter feed? He added that he is very confident that right across Scotland we'll be in a position to fund our campaign and take forward a positive message and put Scotland first. We are very confident that right across Scotland we will be in a position to fund our campaign. So you don't know. This is what I've been saying for months. They don't have any money. Let's get 2 elections. Let's the opposition in Westminster push, get them to crack, go for a vote of no confidence in the government, get an early election. SNP couldn't run it. They could not run for it because there's no money. This is a guy that's a leader of the, and we know he tells lies and exaggerates. He just said 50% of Scotland want independence, right? He's now saying we are very confident that we'll be in a position to fund our campaign. We're a week in. What is going on? So anyway, we're going to take forward a positive message of putting Scotland first. So there we go. That's it in a nutshell, right? This guy who can't make that decision has made the decision that we are having a de facto referendum and getting the majority of the seats, which would be 30 odd. I remember. It's 58, 59 in Westminster. So if you get 30, right, it's not a hope in hell you're getting 30, mate, right? I thought, I'm delighted if you get 20 to 25. It looks as if I've over-egged it a bit, right? So you're already exaggerating about the 50%. So see when you say we're like confident we've got enough money for a campaign, oh my God, why would you even say that? Why would you even say the money, campaign fund money? Why would you put that sentence together? It's here, innit? It's in your head. And I've been saying it for months. Months I've been saying it. We can bankrupt them if we vote right. So let's get on board, Scotland. If you're a nationalist, go and look at your own wee set of rules for how best you can vote, because it shouldn't be for these crackpots. If that's for Alba or whatever you want, go and do it, right? And the people are not chasing independents who are middle of the road or unionists. Just vote tactically, right? That'll be Labour, Conservative or Liberal Democrat in whatever area you live in. And there's loads of people putting figures out just now. We've still got another 5 weeks before the election. A lot of them are quite tight. So a lot of them are like, they've got Tory and Labour in the same. So I don't want to be telling anybody to vote for that party when 3-4 weeks from now the polls change and it's actually that one, and you've got to then go, remember the poke I said in East Renfrewshire should vote like that, I've got to vote like this now. So just bear with us, let's settle down a wee bit. Even if the week before the election I put out a definitive guide on tactically voting, that's still plenty of time, right? Because we can't put a tick in a box until July. All right, so if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing. But the most important thing of all, unless you're Stephen Flynn, any of the nutcases in the SNP, or any of the remaining cult members I've got, everybody else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.